Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please may you join me on this side. We're going to be starting Guru Puja. Thank you. It's not here today. No one can bring a Ganga here. Yeah. No one. Okay. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bandhu Mui Sarvadana Mate. Yahara Prasade Pai E Bhavatoriya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Agya. Arana kori ho mane asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. चक्षुदान दिलो से जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से. चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति आहते अद्वितीय विनाश जाते वेद गाया हर चलित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु कर दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु कर दया देहो मोरे पद छाया एबे ग्यास कुसुक त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पवाना हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, everybody. If you can please take your seats. Hare Krishna, everybody, and welcome to Sri Sri Radharanath Temple's Love Feast. This is our first Love Feast for 2022. Thank you so much for deciding to spend your time with us this morning. We're so happy to see everybody here together. By a show of hands, can you please let me know who's here for the first time? Are there any first-timers? Oh, so everybody's been here before, okay. So we all know how the Sunday feast goes. You come in, we have some kirtan, we have a little discussion, and then there's prasad. And we are keeping true to that form. But we want everybody to just, we want everybody to just take this class and let it carry you through the week. So if you can please just, we encourage you to take your phones out and take notes while Rukmini is speaking, because this will help you in your meditation during the week. And when we meet again on Sunday, there will be further discussion, and in that way we will carry Krishna in our hearts through the week. So this week we have Rukmini speaking. Rukmini Devi Dasi is a full-time resident at Sri Sri Radharanath Temple, and she has been engaged in cultivating youth at the campus, and recently she has been appointed in a national capacity as the liaison officer for outreach, which means reaching out to newcomers and doing innovative ways of introducing Krishna consciousness to people who are not familiar with Krishna consciousness. So she has a position in the South African National Council, which we're very proud about that. So we can give her a round of applause for that. And today she is going to be speaking about the Gita, Krishna's love story, the Gita's love story, which is actually Krishna's love story, because the Gita are Krishna's words. And I invite you all to enter deeply and with heart and love into this topic, because the Bhagavad Gita is not just philosophy. Many of us may have opened those pages and read it and thought, I cannot get into it. But there are lots of deep nuances that actually churn the heart. And Rukmini is going to reveal that to us today. So I'm just checking if she's ready. Okay. So thank you all very much and welcome again. Oh, before we go on, I've been asked to just do a little bit of housekeeping. So please keep your masks on, honor the social distancing. We request that you do not congregate in the foyer area. Please don't do that. Please switch your phones to silent. Try to refrain from not chanting japa while you're hearing the class. And I think that's I'm still trying to wait for Rukmini to get on. So yeah, and please ask questions while you're taking your notes. You know, ask questions. There will be a nice question and answer session that we will have after this. Oh. Okay, so while we're waiting for Rukmini, I want to talk a little bit about our social media at the temple. I'm sure most of you have come here through the WhatsApp or website booking link. Just to let you know, we have a daily, we have a WhatsApp broadcast system which allows you to receive daily darshan and any news that is happening to the temple. The way to do that is that you have to personally subscribe to it. If you go to the book table, they will be able to give you the details of how to subscribe to the temple WhatsApp system. We also have Facebook and Instagram, and you are invited to join us on those platforms. And more important than joining and liking what we're putting out there is sharing. Sharing on your own timelines, on your own pages, what the temple is doing. And in that way, you're helping to spread the Krishna consciousness and Bhakti Yoga. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so now she's ready. Over to Rukmini. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Thank you. Sorry for the delay. When I worked on this PowerPoint presentation, I knew my karma. I should have known better than to test the tech gods. What I would like to ask is if everybody sitting in the back, if you don't mind, if you're doing so for safety-wise, I understand, but if you don't mind, please come and take the chairs in the front. It's been so long since we've been together, and we'd really like to be with everybody. So if you don't mind, that would be really nice. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shrivas Adigora Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Did you ever know that a Sunday Love Feast class is a group effort? And it only depends that if you shower your blessings upon the speaker, you get more benefit and the words will touch your heart even more. So let's do this group effort, and please give me your blessings so that we can approach the Gita together. I want to say also, I'm so glad for everyone who came today. I know it's been such a long time since we've come together. We've never had a Sunday Love Feast for a few months now. And I always remember that those souls who Krishna allows in His presence, because now you've chosen to come, but He's also allowed you to come here, they're special souls. So I'm very honored to be with this group of special souls. Today, I want to start off by asking for my sweets. Can somebody... Anyone? Okay, there we go. Somebody in the back there. Masha. Yeah. She's buying you some time. You can start thinking if you want to cash in some Mahaprasad, which guarantees to give you human birth, you know. You can start getting the heart thinking also. Yes, Mash?
I would say Life 101, how to live your life.
How to live your life.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. Let's hear it for Mash. We can do better than that. Come on. Okay, anybody else? Sweets for Mush, please, when it comes. And we got sweets, right? Because I'm promising people sweets. Okay, right. And
Haribol.
the second, okay, somebody there, right? I can't see who this is. Okay, go ahead, Mata.
Haribol, I think it's for each one of us to recognize that whatever we want in life, we have to stand up for it and fight and get the direction of Krishna, just like Arjun did, and accepted Lord Krishna as his charioteer in life as well to drive him through in the battle of the Mahabharata.
Stand up and fight, right? Who's ready? Stand up and fight. Very good, Mata. Thank you so much. Anybody else? What's the essence? What's the meaning? Okay, let me ask you another question. If you're feeling like, Bhagavad Gita, I don't know what's the meaning. When I say Bhagavad Gita, what is the impression that comes to your heart and your mind immediately? Anyone can answer this question. Don't feel shy and don't lie. 1 second, Mata. There you go. Follow the spiritual master. Very good. That's very faithful disciple that has to be. That's your first impression. Anybody else? Bhagavad Gita. What impression comes to your mind and heart immediately? Right in the back, Jai Prabhu, and here. But Jai Prabhu, we're not giving you the sweet. You resident with us. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Krishna shows how he's Bhakta Vatsala. He's showing his love to Arjun.
Bhakta Vatsala. Should know better than to let the teacher answer, huh? Very true, very true. Right here. Okay, mic's coming. Just a second. How many, okay, yeah. I hope I got enough sweets for everyone. I can't hear. Maybe you can repeat it, Rasitali? Okay. Okay, that's better.
It's Lord Krishna showing us that personally that we need to the essence of life is to love. And in order to do it as well, we also need to follow his words submissively as well.
Very good. Krishna is showing us that the essence of life is to love, and that we need to be submissive to receive that. Thank you. Surabhi is coming along with the sweets. Thank you so much. And do we have someone? Yes, thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna. I think the essence for me is that knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we should surrender to Him.
Thank you. I want to pick on the girl in the back there. Rasastali. Right there. Yeah. When I say Bhagavad Gita, what do you feel? First thought that comes to your head. What do you feel? Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna. I think Bhagavad Gita is the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and it also, it means that if you trust in Krishna, then you can overcome any battle.
If we trust in Krishna,
then we can overcome any battle we face to it.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. Come on. Thank you so much. So, all these answers are correct. There's nothing wrong with them, and they are increasingly sweet. If you've noticed, it may be the anticipation of all the Mangal sweets coming your way, but they were increasingly sweet. What I want to say is, all those answers are right, and especially yes, it is Krishna showing us how to love, and Krishna encouraging us to trust. But there was this question was posed between two Srila Prabhupada disciples. And when they answered it, what was the essence of the Bhagavad Gita? The answer that was given, in my own words now, is that the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's declaration for his love for us. And him giving us the opportunity to learn to love him back. And when of course there's so many answers you could give. Bhagavad Gita essence. You're not the body, you're a spirit soul. Bhagavad Gita essence. We're meant to transcend the material world, get over the modes of nature. So many philosophical aspects can be said to be the Bhagavad Gita's essence. But this particular answer, that the Bhagavad Gita is the declaration of Krishna's love for the living entity, and him giving us the opportunity to learn to love him back, is the one that pleases my heart most. When I asked, what is the first impression you have in your heart or mind when you hear the word Bhagavad Gita, maybe I was the only one that at some point had that internal reaction of The first time I picked the Bhagavad Gita up and tried to read it was probably somewhere between 16 and 18 years old. I decided I was going to read one verse every day. And by the time I got to the 3rd chapter, I realized I didn't understand diddly squat, and I started again. And I got to the 3rd chapter, and I didn't understand anything, and I started again. Because it didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Anybody had that experience? Okay. All right. Of course, for other people, it may be that you pick up the Bhagavad Gita and it blows your mind away. And that can happen. For some people, unfortunate like myself, that wasn't the experience. So the second thing I did was getting more and more into it, was I applied to a class that we had at the temple to study it with a group of devotees. And I thought, now I can make sense of the Bhagavad Gita. But what happened was, I was going every week for classes and I loved it. I loved associating with the devotees, getting my spiritual boost for the week like we do when we come to the Sunday program. But at the end, I couldn't say that I had fully grasped it, that I understood the ins and outs and why one chapter leads to another chapter, and what was Krishna actually trying to say. And many times in my life I felt, Krishna, if you really wanted us to come back to you by reading the Bhagavad Gita, why didn't you just say so? Couldn't you just make it easy and say so? Why did you make it so complicated with so many different processes? So later on, I took the journey of trying to study the Bhagavad Gita in Vrindavan, which was a much more concentrated study over a period of time. And there slowly, the Bhagavad Gita became a friend. Because in studying in the association of those who were friends of the Gita, I was able to imbibe the message deeper for myself. Yet, it still wasn't my best friend. It wasn't my go-to book if I had to choose one of Srila Prabhupada's books. So this class would be for people who have that sort of gripe, and for whom the Bhagavad Gita doesn't come so easy to tell you that it's a journey. And knowledge, there were certain things that I had to learn about knowledge before I could approach the Bhagavad Gita. And one of them was that I can't approach it like I approached all my textbooks, like I learned in university. The knowledge was different. The reason why it was difficult for me is because I was told that the equation must balance. Anybody heard that? Anybody was taught that in school, the equation must balance? Anybody? They're either lying to me or they're doing maths lit and not pure maths. You're taught that the equation must balance. And when I looked at the Bhagavad Gita, the equation wasn't balancing for me. It just wasn't balancing. And so then I had to learn, and especially in Vrindavan, I had to learn that you approach spiritual knowledge differently. You can only learn to the degree that Krishna in the heart reveals the knowledge to you. And no matter how educated can be, you can look at that book and get nothing. Humility as the first item of knowledge. So why am I telling you about this? Because this journey of the Bhagavad Gita for me personally taught me how spiritual books are dynamic. They're dynamic. They're like shapeshifters. They shift according to the consciousness that receives them. It's like you watch in movies, because I've actually never seen it in South Africa, but you watch in movies how there's this carnival, right? And they have this house of mirrors. Anyone seen that? And then you go into this house of mirrors. You see like yourself in different forms, like you look thin and tall in one, you look short and fat in another. Anybody seen that before? Yeah? And spiritual books are like that. The glass is glass. It's transparent, it's pure, it's clear. But according to our consciousness, it is angled in such a way, such that what appears on the mirror shifts. And our consciousness is symptomatic of our heart. And that is why the journey of approaching spiritual literature and spiritual books is so dynamic. Because while we're still rooted in what Srila Prabhupada taught us in his purports and his teachings, still the branches go out. Because according to our individual persons, Krishna will reciprocate with us differently as we read the scripture. So my 108th try of the Bhagavad Gita was with a little book club during lockdown. And we just it was peer study. We took the Bhagavad Gita and we talked about it. And while we were talking about it, this presentation of what I'm going to show you now, this presentation of the Bhagavad Gita appeared amongst our collective study. To see that the Bhagavad Gita is a love story between two people. One being Krishna, and the second being us. Exactly. A love story between Krishna and the living entity, which is us. There's a tendency when we approach the scripture that we divorce ourselves from it. That is a really nice verse for the other person to read. And when we are approaching the scripture, we have to understand that this is Krishna talking to us. So when I read through the verses, I try to read through the verses thinking, what is Krishna trying to tell me now? And of course, when we hear Srila Prabhupada's purports, that is giving us a hint into what Krishna is trying to say. But if I read the same verse every day for the next 30 days, the meaning can be the same, but because my consciousness is changing, what I get out of it can be different. So, with that note, on that note, I want to look through this 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Not so much to do it as a philosophical study, not to say that this is the most comprehensive look at it, but why through the 7th chapter, I see Krishna's love letter. And Krishna's love letter states, firstly, is that in order to love me, you have to first know me. You cannot love what you don't know. You know, you meet people and they would say, yes, of course. Even if I don't go to the temple or I don't go to the mosque or I don't go to the church, my heart is clean and I love God. But Krishna's love is not candy floss and heartines and ribbons. Krishna's love is a deep expression. And he wants us to learn how much he loves him, so that he loves us, so that we can learn how to love him. So this 7th chapter, Krishna is saying, you can't say you love me unless you know me. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna is inviting us to know him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. This is Krishna's invitation. you can know me. I would like to ask you, how many people do you let know you? Really? Not how many people are in your contact list, not how many people on your Facebook profile, Facebook friends or whatever, or how many people follow you on Instagram. How many people, not even how many people know you, how many people will you let know you? Not really. It's a hard thing. It's not a simple thing. It's a reaching out with vulnerability. It's a vulnerable position to put yourself in a place where you allow someone to know you. And there's Krishna telling us in the 7th chapter, in the 1st verse, he's inviting us to know him. But not just know him, to know him fully. And to know him beyond doubt. Beyond doubt. And then he carries on in the 2nd verse. He's declaring to Arjuna knowledge, both material and spiritual, and knowing which you don't need to know anything. What is Krishna trying to say? He's saying, if you decide to know me, you will know everything. Maybe you don't have this problem, but I have this problem. If I know a story, or if I hear of a story, I need to know the end. Desperately. Desperately. Like, the reason why they keep making series with season after season after season is because people have a desperate desire to know, especially the end. And for that for all the desire of all the things that we desire to know, Krishna is saying, know me and you will know everything. So he's giving us impetus. He's inviting us to know him, and then he's saying, know me and you will know everything. But why does he want us to know him? Because we can't love him without knowing him. And the second impetus he gives us is that many people try to know me, but to truly know me is very rare. What the opportunity that I'm giving you to know me, thousands approach me, but the person who wants to know me and knows me is rare. They think they may know me, but what they actually want to know is my energies. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are my separated energies. So everything that we see in the world, everything that we touch, feel, everything that we want, even the people that we want or don't want, all of these things and beings is Krishna's energy. And we're either attracted by it or repulsed by it, and we live our whole lives in pursuance of these different forms of energy. But they're Krishna's energy. And that part is hard to see. That what I'm pursuing is actually Krishna's energy. And Krishna is showing us how people pursue his energy instead of him. How do you like it? You know when you get that kid in school who always wants you to do their homework? Or who takes your homework and copies the answers? Or that person, that relative who calls you only when they need something? And that is Krishna's vocation here as to how I see it. It's not the only vocation, but that's what Krishna is saying, that people want my energies, but they don't necessarily want me. And how does that make you feel when people do that? Krishna's personal. He says those are the material energies. You are also part of my energy, which means that you are a part of me. I want you to know me. I want you to begin to love me because you are a part of me. And everything that you seek in my energies, know that I am the source. I'm the source of everything material. I'm the source of everything spiritual. Therefore, anything that you want, you can try to get it externally. But if you really want it, you will find it in me. And then he says this beautiful verse, O conqueror of wealth There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. I would remember this verse constantly, especially when I was on campus. Yeah. You know the day that you know the marks are going to come out, you're going to get DP refusals. I remember this verse. Because it gave me calm. It gave me calm. It made me realize that not everything depends upon me. And Krishna is saying, there are pearls on the necklace of the material world, but I am the thread. And what is the thing about the thread? Is that the thread is invisible. You don't see the thread, you just see the pearls. So you see the glitter of the material world. You see the cashback bonuses. You see the flashy car. You see the hot lady or the cool guy. But we see only the pearls and we don't see the thread that's behind it. And he's saying, behind everything you desire, I am the thread. But if you can't see this thread, then see me in the pearls. And there Krishna expands a numerous number of verses, 3, 4, 5, and again throughout the other chapters of Bhagavad Gita, that explains how we can see him in the material energy. I am the taste in water. I am the seed of all existence. I am the ability of man. I am the strength of the strong. I am the prowess of all powerful men. He gives a whole list of things. As the chapters go on, he says, of all aquatics, I am the shark. Of all bodies of water, I am the ocean. I am the sun, I am the moon. So he's teaching us how, if we can't see the thread, when you look at the pearls, you can remember him. And then he comes to the point of, why don't you know me? Why don't you know me? Why is it that you have to start this process of learning who I am? Why don't you know me? Because we are deluded by the modes of nature, deluded by the material energy. And the pinnacle verse to me in 14, this divine energy of mine, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. And Krishna is saying, I don't expect you to overcome these modes yourself, to overcome illusion, to overcome negative desire, negative traits, all the things that bog us down in this world. I don't expect you to overcome it yourself. All you have to do is surrender. And what does surrender mean? It simply means turn to me. In this 14th verse, Krishna is saying, turn to me. Not my energies. Turn to me. Now this is an important verse because often on the path of somebody who's aspiring for spiritual knowledge, we reach that point of struggle. Struggle. It's a struggle to get up in the morning. It's a struggle to put that hand in that bead bag and say a mantra. It's a struggle to decide, do I stay at home? Do I come to the temple? It's a struggle. Everything is a struggle because we are moving against the current of the material energy. I wanted to speak a little bit about the different people who underwent struggles. One of them is Gajendra, the elephant, who was caught in a river and his foot was in the mouth of a crocodile. And for thousands of years, it was like celestial years, not on this planet, but thousands of years, the crocodile and Gajendra fought within the water. Gajendra trying to free himself, the crocodile snapping back. And slowly, the energy of Gajendra wore down and wore down. Why? Because he was in the water. And he couldn't get food while he was in the water. But the crocodile, he could take a pit break and snap a few fish here and there. He could get nourishment. But Gajendra couldn't. And this big king of the elephants was losing all his strength. Until the last moment, where, weakened, he lifted his trunk in the air with a lotus flower and called out to Vishnu. And Vishnu came on Garuda. So, why did Vishnu wait? Like, he could see Gajendra was there, the crocodile was there. You know, Krishna's omnipotent. He knew that that his leg was in the mouth of the crocodile. Why did he wait for the thousands of years and let him suffer? Why did Gajendra have to struggle? Because as long as we don't call out to Krishna, he won't come. He won't come to help us because we're not calling out to him. So when we reach that point of struggle with spiritual life, the thoughts that go through our head like, I shouldn't be like this. I should be a better devotee. I shouldn't be undergoing this trial. I should already be able to chant good rounds. Everybody else gets up in the morning. I shouldn't be finding it difficult. Everybody else finds it easy to follow principles. What's wrong with me? We go through all this chatter in the head without realizing that we can't. And then, okay, no, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to try better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure a way to fix my spiritual life. Sounds good, right? It doesn't work. Because everything that we undergo is simply there for us to turn to Krishna. So the problem doesn't become my sloppy rounds, or my not waking up, or my not reading Bhagavatam, my lack of desire to come to the Sunday program. The problem is that I didn't turn to Krishna. Draupadi. Why did Krishna wait, leaving her with the possibility of being stripped naked in the assembly area? In the Uddhava Gita, Krishna alludes to the fact. He says, I was playing with Rukmini and I knew this was happening to Draupadi. But she called for Bhishma. She didn't call for me. She called for her husbands. She didn't call for me. And I was waiting eagerly to help her. And it's only at the last minute, when everything else failed her, that she said, Hey Govinda! And if she doesn't call me, how can I go? I can't force you to love me. So simply this point of surrender means turn to Krishna. It's a big word. And sometimes it becomes like a blah, 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 blah. We don't know what to do with it. Yeah, surrender. But it means in every moment, through every negative emotion, through every negative thought, to every positive thought, through every happy occurrence, we turn to Krishna. In our minds, in our hearts. And that practice of surrender trains us to trust Him. You can't love someone you don't trust. And if you can't trust Krishna with your life, you can't love Him. And if you don't trust Him, you won't turn to Him. And to the degree that you don't turn to Him is indicative of our lack of trust. I can fix this myself. So, Krishna goes through this chapter. He explains about that there's some people who don't want to know Him. And that there's other people who come to Him with some other motive. Or the material energy has forced them to come. They've lost everything. They're feeling distressed. There's no one there to give them the support that they need. They're curious about the world for different reasons, according to circumstance and according to their nature. They may approach Krishna, but not for Krishna's sake. And to those that come, He accepts them anyway. But there is one category of people that come to know Him for His sake. And those people are very dear to me, he's saying. Those people are dear to me. And that makes sense, right? Because it's that like one friend who's got your back, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether whether you got something to give them or you don't have something to give them, that person becomes dear to you. And Krishna is personal. So it's obvious that he will also feel that way. And then he says in the 18th verse, that all these devotees are magnanimous, but that person who wants to know me, for that person, you can come and be with me. So here we see the graduation from just knowing him to his invitation to reside with him. Now, you don't often open up your home or your heart for people to reside in. But here's Krishna. He's showing us his love so that we can learn how to love him. To know me is to turn to me. We surrender if we trust Krishna. But he's also asking us to be patient, because many, many births we have taken, and it's going to take a while. So be patient in our love for him, as he has been patient in his love for us. 8,400,000 species we have been through. Whether you were that worm, whether you were that cockroach, or whether you were that, slimy bug that you kick off at the bottom of your shoe. Even when we were in those births, Krishna resided within us as the super soul. So he's been patient with us, and therefore we need to be patient in this process of devotion. And then he puts the catchphrase, if you don't turn to me, you'll turn to somebody else. And in this particular verse, the example of the demigods is given. But if you don't turn to the demigods, you will turn to TV, you will turn to some other person, you will turn to something for shelter, because we all need shelter. And when that shelter isn't Krishna, it's something else. You're going to turn anyway. All you can do is choose where you turn. Look at Krishna's personality. And this is why these verses help us know Krishna. But look at Krishna's personality. Even if you don't turn to me, if you turn to somebody else, I will allow you to have that faith. I will make that faith firm. I'll let you look elsewhere. And for anyone who's been in a committed relationship, is that easy? Let the person look elsewhere? No. Krishna is this, he's teaching us what it means to love and the depth that his love, the depth of his own love. You can look elsewhere, but you won't be satisfied, he says. But if you look to me, then you can come to me. And thus we're gradually moving to the 8th chapter, where Krishna is moving in his invitation from his invitation to know him to his invitation to reside with him. And as he reaches the end, he's telling us, I know you better than you know yourself. Better than you could ever know yourself. And this again is an invitation for us to trust him. And he rounds off the full chapter by showing us that those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, of the demigods, and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. And here he's just telling us that if you try to know me, that when you need me most, I'll be there. And now, there's a story which I really like. A guy driving around the car park looking for a parking. Anyone been in that situation before? Yeah. And he's like, God, please, please, give me a parking. And he goes around the whole place, can't find a parking. Second time around, God, please, please, just, I'll be a better devotee, I'll chant better, I'll read better, I'll offer all my food. Just give me a parking. And he goes the third time around, still no, finally, he sees a slot, and you know when that guy is like behind you, but you know they're going to go for it, but you cut in front of them and get it anyway, so he pulled that move, and he got the parking. He's like, okay, don't worry, God, I sorted it out. It's fine, I got it. You don't have to worry about it. And that's what we do all the time. We ask God for the simplest things, and He's there in those simple things, from like, where's my phone, or like, please help me, I need to get my daughter married, I need to get my child through university. All these things that we need, that we approach the Lord with, which may be true and like bearing on our consciousness and may be important for our lives. But none of them is going to compare to that final moment. None of them is going to compare to the point where you have no control over your body, where the sum and substance of all your life and all your thoughts is now right in front of you, flashing through, where no one that you love can actually help you. No one. And everyone that you invested faith in cannot shift the position that you are in. It spells helpless, like you could never believe. And in that moment, I will be there. Krishna is saying. So this is just the 7th chapter. In the 7th chapter, Krishna is inviting us to know Him. In the 8th, He expands on the idea of come and be with me, inviting us to His own abode. And in the 9th, He fully declares His love for us. Why? So by seeing how He loves us, we can learn to love Him similarly. This is just a tip of how the Bhagavad Gita is a love story. But if that's not the mirror that you see when you read it, that's okay. Because whatever you get when you approach it will be what Krishna wants you to receive at this point. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and ask if anybody has any thoughts or comments or questions from what we've been discussing now. And maybe we could just open up. If you'll be vulnerable enough to let us know you a little.
Hare Krishna, Rukmini. Thank you so much. I want to ask about the examples of Gajendra and Draupadi. So, I think, well, I've had that experience, and I'm sure many devotees here have had that experience, where you call out to Krishna, but you don't see that visible help. So, can you please elaborate about that, or just shed some light on it? Thank you.
I also thought about that when I heard these stories, like, yeah, I called out, you never came. You know, like, it's waiting there with my sari, like, you know, I'm coming, like, is it going to expand? It's not happening. I once heard that every prayer has an answer, and sometimes silence is an answer. I think what it hinges on is the trust. You see, it's like how fixed we can be that things have to be the way that we want it. You know, it's a real fixation. And we can use philosophy and Shastra and everything that Krishna teaches us to just build our sense of control. And when Krishna is not answering or is not doing what we called out to Him for, it's an answer. It means you have to shift something. It means something has to shift. It means the lesson is not learned. It means we have to pray in another way. And so therefore a very safe way to pray can be not just, Krishna, please save me from this situation, but Krishna, let me know what you want me to do. You know, how can I be that instrument? Whatever it is that you want, let me be that. That brings forward a certain amount of surrender that says, I'm not trying to do it my way. You know, I know it's hard, I know I'm a control freak, but I'm trying now. Please direct me. And if then we still can't see a direction, then maybe we need to open our eyes more Because it sometimes doesn't come in just like a letter in your email. You know, it may come through another person. It may come through some instance. And sometimes patience is required. You know, Krishna's not the person who needs to like, oh yeah, 5 billion, 10 million, 5 billion, 365 prayers today. I need to get them all done before the end of the day. He may choose to make you wait. And we have made him wait. So we don't have any bone to pick on that like, dude, why aren't you answering me? So patience, the right prayer, and trust that he has our back. Because when there's trust, then we're willing to be patient. We're willing to be open to where the right advice comes from. But simply that prayer of, let me be what you want me to be, let me do how you act as you want me to act, let me follow your will, that prayer is the safest prayer to pray. Does that answer? Yeah? Okay. Any other thoughts? Jai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Although Krishna is saying all these things about his energies, and still there will be skeptics who will discount that. And so, therefore Arjuna requests Krishna to reveal the universal form, to set a criteria, to say that he was genuinely, he not only just spoke words, but he actually was present in these things.
Yeah, that's true. While Krishna is saying this, there will be people who are skeptical, and therefore in the 11th chapter he revealed his universal form to prove that he is supreme. But there will always be skeptics. And the fact that they are skeptics and people may not believe what's in the Bhagavad Gita, this is Krishna's invisible security lock on his heart. If you don't believe, you don't believe. You won't get access. You just won't get access to the knowledge. So Krishna is protecting this information. He's protecting it. He's calling it confidential knowledge. He's protecting it because having faith and trusting him is such a rare thing. He doesn't have to hide the Bhagavad Gita in order to call it confidential. He's putting it all there and saying the combination to the key, if anyone's played mind games, the combination to the key is trust and faith. And if you can't find the right combination, I can leave a box with $1 million right in front of you. You got no access to it. So I don't need to hide it. I don't need to hide it. So while that's there to prove the skeptics wrong, skeptics will be skeptics. And until you've fried with the material world and you're really looking for something deeper, then the lock starts opening. Is that okay, Jai Prabhu? Anybody else, any thoughts that you want to share? Okay, so I'd like to leave you with this little sort of exercise for yourself. While we're reading through this chapter of Krishna saying, come and know me, the question can be asked, how to know Krishna? And in the first verse of the chapter, he says, Takshinu, just hear from me. By hearing me, you will know me. So it's a question that we can ask ourselves on a day-to-day basis. What did I do today to know Krishna better? What can I do in just over the next few hours to actually connect with Krishna as a person and know him better? It's something weird because sometimes we don't think about what it means to know Krishna and how knowing him can help us trust him. By hearing about Krishna is the first method, and by performing devotional service, naturally things shift in the heart. It's invisible but true that when you engage in devotional service, starting with hearing about Krishna, your heart changes. So when you walk out of this room, not because I'm some amazing speaker, but because of what is here is what's in the Bhagavad Gita. Your heart is different. Your consciousness has changed, and you're not the same person. You're in the presence of the deity, in the presence of the kirtan, in the presence of the scripture. You cannot remain the same. Some may shift this much, some may shift that much. That depends as to how much we're able to receive. But definitely everyone is shifting. So let's ask ourselves, where am I in my relationship with the Supreme? Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I do what I do? And how can I come to know you better? Let's accept Krishna's invitation, even when it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'd like to leave it here. There's still a little bit of time, but sorry. Okay. Oh, that was in the back. There's still a little bit of time. Last check if there's a question or a thought. We good? Okay. Thank you so much. We will go ahead now with Kirtan, and it will lead into the Arti. Next weekend, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj will be given the Sunday Love Feast. And so just check out for that. It will be by booking, so we can keep the safety levels okay. And yeah, you'll get to know more about that. Also in the Saturday and Sunday mornings, the morning classes is running and open. You can come to Mangalartik if you like. A very fresh start to the day. Chant your japa with the devotees here every day in the week. And on Saturday and Sunday, the morning classes are open to us. Saturday, we're speaking about, the theme is the Juhu book, which is a book by Giriraj Swami on Srila Prabhupada's establishment of the Juhu temple. It's a phenomenal story. Learning about Srila Prabhupada is amazing. And on Sunday, we continue the Nectar of Instruction. We just finished off this first verse. If you haven't listened to the class given by Gaurabhumi this morning, go on to Facebook and listen to it. It was amazing. Regarding sexual impulse and how to deal with it, which is the last part of the first verse of the Nectar of Instruction. We'll start with the second verse next Sunday. So in other words, we're here. Your opportunities to know Krishna are increasing and increasing. And so it's just up to us to take them. So we'll stop here and we'll continue with Kirtan. Yeah, I think so.
Thank you so much, Rukmini. We can give her a round of applause. I'm thinking maybe we should hear a different chapter of Bhagavad Gita every week, just so that we can get to know Krishna more and more. I trust some of you have taken notes, and that can carry you through the week. Rukmini's given us some homework. It'd be wonderful if we can talk to our friends about how that goes. As Rukmini said, next weekend we're going to be having His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami give class after many, many months, so that's going to be very exciting for us here. Again, we ask you to please honor the COVID protocols in the temple, which is keep your mask on a social distancing. Please do not congregate in the foyer. There is going to be packed prasad available after the Arati. Alanath Prabhu? So there will be packed prasad available after the Arati, which you can collect and exit immediately. Now we're going to have Kirtan, but I'm not sure who's leading the Kirtan. Is it Marsha? Okay, she's there. So are we going to face the deities? So everybody, we can face the deities. I think we can stand so we can get our muscles moving a little bit. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.